attention, please. It's time for the final countdown. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
I'm from that dirt. I'm all about that dirt. I'm throwing dirt. I miss that dirt. Gotta get back to I'm a dirt trackaholic. Call it what you call it. Saturday night, I am so Kenny Wallace on that dirt. I miss that dirt. Gotta get back to it. I've been the Kenny Wallace of the rap game. Ever since I hit him with that dirt track thing. Now nationwide, everybody knows my name. They're like, mama, that's Kenny Montgomery. He sings that song we like. Yeah, boy, that's me. Roll out the trailer, I'm flossing. Them Hoosier tires glossing. Them cold kind we're tossing. They know I came to wreck it, yet I rarely bring out a caution. I hit the high side, boy, I park it for Brian Clausen. I do them like Kyle Larson. Watch me throw them sliders. Party in Victory Lane, and y'all boys ain't invited. Your mama gets excited when I pull up to unload. Even your grandpa talking about, man, that boy too cold. We don't sit on 24s, we don't ride on spinners. I'm posted up on them 15s with...
Welcome, race fans, out here to Dirt 360 TV's episode of a podcast. Once again, a little bit different. Yes, I know the name Bohle is spelled wrong on the little deal. I've already been a question about it, but I also have been having kind of a up and down type of day. We are of heavy hearts this afternoon. I'm going to try to hold it together here real quick. And this is one good reason why we're doing this show. And with the people that we have that's going to be on the show tonight is because I kind of needed it, kind of needed to get in the groove to make sure. And my very, 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 very good friend passed away this afternoon. He's huge supporter of not only the Dirt 360 TV deal, the RPM Sports Network deal, my boys, everything in racing, man. This guy was an avid supporter, and he was my next door neighbor. He allowed us to park our diesel pusher in his driveway, hook up to his power. It's been, I mean, my phone is blowing up. I appreciate you guys very, very much. And without this next guest that we're gonna have on, I don't know if I could have made it from the day. But with all aspects said and everything else, is we have this young lady. She's a gangster. Not only a gangster, but she is the up and coming female phenom. I want to say that she's from Connecticut, and her name is Taylor Bohle, but she's actually from SoCal, California. She is the Bulldog themselves. It is Miss Tyler Rose Bohle, or Bohle. God, see, I knew I was gonna do it. I knew I was gonna do it. Oh my God, young lady, it is such a pleasure. I absolutely love you. You are not only family, you're an amazing young lady, and it's good to have you on. It's a pleasure. How are you, my dear?
Doing great. Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. And like we were talking a little bit off camera and stuff too. The racing community and stuff is one thing. Our relationship is it's up and beyond something different. we share IHOP together, and we'll get into IHOP a little bit later in the episode. But I thank you guys very much. We were actually off camera. What you guys can't see is that we can communicate with each other prior to going live, and I got the phone call that Mark had passed away. But if I would have stopped the show, he would have haunted my ass. He would have kicked my ass, and he would have told me. And I apologize, guys. This is a PG rated show, but he would have kicked my butt if I would have sat there and declined this episode tonight. Junior UAS, the female phenom herself, Miss Tyler Bohle. How the hell are you, young lady?
I'm doing great. I'm on summer break right now from school. Just been hanging out at the racetrack, hanging out with my dad. That's about it.
You talk about your dad. That's the shoulder that you see on your camera, camera left. Get out of frame, Dad. Get out of frame. This is not about you today. No. As you can see, Miss Tyler, is that everybody that can speak up tonight. Ryan Forza, that's pretty neat video. I'll be there for it. We have a bunch of guys and stuff. That is St. Paul. He's part of the Pacific Wing Outlaws up there at Rainier. Let's put on that. He's an amazing man. Had a great deal. And look who this is. We know who this guy? Brian Nevins Jr.
I've heard of him. Yeah.
I mean, he's
cool.
he's somebody, right? Sorry to hear about it, but thinking about, yeah, I appreciate it, Brian. Thank you very, very much. Of course, we try not to have heavy hearts, and that's not why we're here. We're talking about the UAS. UAS is coming to town. Speaking of Brian Nevins, right? Is look at this. Who's this? Ronnie Benton.
That's right.
Ronnie Benton, what's up, fool? How you doing, buddy? UAS Grand Nationals, Road to the Grand Nationals. You guys aren't going to be there, but you are going to have some practice next weekend in Iowa with Mr. Brian Nevins Jr. Before we get into that, we're going to talk about your last UAS Grand Nationals GKK. You finished fourth. The year before that, you finished second at Spokane.
Yeah.
What are you taking in from SoCal into the UAS? I mean, you're going all the way from California all the way to PA. That's a long ass flight. I mean, thank God you ain't driving.
Yeah.
Well,
Dad is.
I'm driving. I'm bringing all of that stuff out there.
I'm at school during that, so I can't drive.
Right? Steve Sharpless said UAS would be badass. We were just talking to a bunch of people. I was talking to Mr. Mark Bertfeld, and it is on record to be the biggest UAS Grand Nationals since 5 years ago. So we don't have a hurricane, knock on wood. We don't have a hurricane in Florida, which, in Georgia, Virginia, that didn't bring a lot of people and stuff up. We are in to look at possibly 60. Now, this is just a throw. This could be way off, but it could be thrown out there. 60 UAS showing up for the UAS Grand Nationals in September.
That's great for the sport.
Brian Williams says, hi, Taylor.
Hi.
You got fans everywhere, young lady. About to turn 18 years old. This is your last year in junior UAS. Let's talk about real quick before we get into that. Last year's UAS at Georgia. You came again from SoCal, Southern California, all the way to the great state of Georgia. Your dad towed all the way there. You flew just like us. Oh, no, wait, you rode. Yeah, you drove too, didn't you?
No.
I can talk. So we actually got sponsored with a car by Matt Green.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the Matt Green did it. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And I flew up to Georgia, met my dad there in Georgia with a motor and a motor box. And we put my Comer on.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, because you had to fly with the motor and stuff like that. Because we both went to the same. Yeah, because we both went to the airport together, right?
Yeah.
And you had the suit. Yes. I still remember that.
All of the stuff.
Dude, that was so. We had all of our production crew, and then you had all of your motors, your race stuff, your gear, and literally it was at the gate, and we separated. We hugged and we separated. And we're like, okay, call me later. You're like, we'll be flying next to each other. Oh, that was so. That was so awesome. What did you take from running SoCal? What did you take that was your biggest aspect to take to the Grand Nationals in Georgia?
Definitely when you're running at SoCal, it's definitely a lot of patience because it's a smaller track. So, and when you're racing in a larger class, you just have to have patience and wait for the person in front of you to make a mistake. Because on a bigger track, when you're not as fast, you kind of just need to wait for someone to make a mistake or just to get lucky. But I definitely.
And Georgia was a big track. Georgia was fast. It got
Yeah.
really, really hard. So it was almost kind of like watching a lot of our guys and stuff that had the soft tires, go there and struggle a little bit until they put hard tires on, and then the track kind of came to them a little bit. Did you have that same struggle?
I was just kind of behind on a bit on the chassis because I've only ever ran really about 3 chassis and they've all been pretty similar. But I've been running Legends forever. Like that's the only chassis I've ever ran, and having to change chassis definitely put me behind the power curve compared to all the other juniors who have been racing their cars all season. But I still feel like we did pretty good.
To pull off a 4th place finish at the Grand Nationals, is something. I mean, that's a braggable right there. I mean, that's bragging rights. I mean, you finished 2nd in pretty much your kind of backyard, Spokane, Washington. I mean, you came from SoCal, but I mean, it's 6 hours for us. It's 12 hours for you guys. 13 hours, maybe 14 hours. But I mean, it's kind of like our backyard. We know what it's like and stuff up here. But to take that stuff, you take a 2nd and then come back and go to Georgia with a chassis you've never ridden before, a setup you've never did before. And you have, the factory support from Legend themselves, Brian Evans Jr., who is a factory driver for Legend. You put on, a great clinic to show some of these junior guys on how to do it.
Yeah, and one of the main problems we had there was my dad did kind of mess up on my carburetor. But
wait, was that a lean in?
Not wrong. Dad got worried. He made a carburetor adjustment. Then he padded the adjustment. And as she left the grid, I added a little bit more to the adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
It was wrong.
Uh-huh.
My fault.
As he exit camera left. If you guys don't know who that is, if you guys are new to the Bohle family, that there is Scott Bohle. We call him the Scotty, the Scott man. He we tried to call him the Scat man is because when he drinks, you can't really hear him because he sounds gibberish. Brian Evans Jr. might know about that. Skippity boppity 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 boop. Yeah. Anyways, it is cool to see you drive. Not only just because you're an amazing driver, but on top of that, you're a female driver in a sport that is dominated by a lot of men. Coming into this, you're 17 years old. You're about to turn 18. This is the best part. Look at this comment right here. Brian Evans says, "Yes, I do." Ronnie says he's just word vomits.
You're getting called out on this.
The sad part about it, Scotty the Scat Man, is that we have friends that ain't afraid to talk. But you take that dominated sport by a man and being a young lady. I mean, you've been in the sport, 5-6 years and stuff now. You've got 2 of those trophies that are literally right behind you, those golden crystal bowls from the Holiday Classic at Tucson, which we filmed the very first one that came back here a couple years ago, which was awesome to see. Unfortunately, didn't go back there last year, but hopefully you might be able to go back again this year. I think it's going to be even bigger and better. You've got tons of wins. You've got the Crystal Bulls. I mean, running the Holiday Classic is kind of almost running like a junior national. Would you say that?
Yeah, it's definitely like that. There aren't, unfortunately, a lot of junior UAS drivers, but we do have a fairly large KT program. There's a very amazing clone program out in Tucson. They're mostly known for that. And this coming year, I'll be racing, hopefully, in the Arizona Open, which is very similar to UAS, but unfortunately, I won't be old enough to race in UAS. And we're hoping to bring out my grandpa's duel for that.
That's gonna be awesome because that thing's a legend. The card is, but that whole program right there is legendary when it comes to running a dual setup.
Yeah,
You're
My grandpa drove it as a duel before I was born, and then my dad's drove it as a duel, and we want to hopefully get a win for me as a duel, so then it can be 3-generational win with it.
So when you go into that type of stuff, I mean, talk about the pressure that you have, knowing that you're a 3rd-generation driver. What is there like a pressure aspect? Is there anything goes through your mind thinking that you have to accomplish what Grandpa and your dad has done?
There actually really isn't, coming from my family. My family are just very proud of me for just being out there trying, even after wrecking and not doing very good. There's a lot of pressure behind me personally, because I expect myself to be the best and I want to be one of the best. But coming from my family, there really isn't any, because I know that if my grandpa was still around, he'd be insanely proud of me for just being out there. And I know my dad is proud of me every moment for just being just like him in racing.
You talk about the aspect of being proud, showing your grandpa proud, showing your dad proud. You across the board have shown a lot of these drivers how to be stable in your racing career. Not only are you a racer, but you're a hockey player also. Now, I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, if you can tell about the sweetness and stuff behind you, but this girl's got attitude. And it's the good attitude, and that's where it takes, like Renee Angel from up here, right? She's sweet and all, but you get her on that track, or you get her in a competitive aspect, and that woman is she's like a bulldog. She's a SoCal Bulldog, And when we were talking about it, I'm like, hey, I said, you guys had on the Tyler Rose, TR and da. And I sat there and I'm like, no, we got to change that. And the SoCal Bulldog, because everywhere I've been, I've either gotten your name wrong. I've got your mom to sit there and message me on live broadcast. I've got death threats from mom. It's like, so, and then when your dad puts out and goes, hey, you realize that you spelled Bohle wrong on the post. I'm like, no, I didn't. And like, yeah. I'm like, I'm like, okay. I'm waiting for mom in the background to come out and go, I got your number. But you have such a great program and stuff, and everything that you've done. I mean, we've been friends and we've been, together for many, many years. I mean, it started, from the BK and everything. So, I mean, we've got a good 5, 6, 7 years under our belt, and I've watched you grow through the lengths of being a, junior driver into this aspect now of a professional driver. And what have you taken from those junior years and up till now? Because next year you're going up into the UAS. You have no say so. You're going up to UAS.
My dad already knows we're going up to UAS next year. Like with the Grand Nationals, hopefully being on the West Coast next year. I already know that I want to race in as many classes as I can next year at Grand Nationals. And I bring from being a junior and definitely being young.
Mom says I didn't notice. Crap! I screwed myself.
But I've definitely brought from junior racing, being younger, with that being as a junior, 17. I race in KT back home. I'm at a disadvantage because people just think that I'm still a kid, even though I can compete just as well as they do. But I have thicker skin than a lot of them think. And
we know that. We know that.
I definitely think that that's one of the main things is the thicker skin.
You talk about the thicker skin. You talk about, the competitiveness and stuff. Last time I saw you was at the BK, which is a phenomenal race. If nobody's been to the BK and stuff, the Buddha Kinzer Memorial Race there at Salem Indoor. After 2 years of a hiatus, because of COVID and the crying tree of everybody, we brought it back. Ronnie Cox, Renee Angel, Ronnie's the big supporter of the BKs, the founder and all that, brought it back to Salem where it belongs. That's just my point. And to see you come and how fast you were out of the box, bro, holy hell. People knew you were there in a KT motor. Now, KT is kind of like a dying breed. It is and it isn't. Everybody has one that's been racing for 20 years. Somewhere along the line, they have one on the shelf. And for you to bring that out and to be how fast you were, it was insane to watch you. I've seen you race, but I think you're more dedicated and more focused at the BK this year than I've ever seen you in the last 2 years. Is that true?
Yeah, I definitely felt like it was my first ever BK that I've ever even been to. And I had a little bit of pressure with Brian being there. Kind of had to be equal to my teammate there. BK was huge for our whole pit area. We went almost undefeated the entire weekend. Unfortunately, we had one heat race that we didn't win as a pit area. There were 3 of us.
Right.
It was me, Brian Nevins, and one of our friends' sons who came up. We unfortunately only lost one heat race out of all the races we were in. But for a whole pit area, it was just an amazing weekend. And definitely for my class with KT Light, it was amazing to see a fellow girl on the podium as well. We had a girl 1, 2. And for UAS, it was great because we had a girl 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
So, yeah, it was a great weekend for females in racing and for our amazing cart pusher, Chris Vieira. Right there. Yeah. But it was a very fun weekend hanging out with Matt Jones from YOA, and Chris Vieira was there with us. And yeah, it was a very fun, successful weekend. We learned a lot, but we had a lot of fun and brought home a lot of trophies.
And that's the thing too, is that with the BK, I mean, people from all over the country and stuff. I mean, it's like a mini national. People from all over the country, especially with the UAS, they come and they flock to the BK. We didn't have as many last year as we've had in the past. I think it's just because of, travel with the amazing fuel prices and stuff of what we had. That was awesome at, $72 a gallon for diesel. But I mean, that's a whole different podcast. But it was great to see the camaraderie and the BK itself. Ronnie Cox has done so much for the BK, and to bring that, and it's like watching, going to the nationals, and then it's like bringing the nationals back, but it's like it's all family. Everybody, yeah. It's so cool, and it's just as much as we race and as much as we put pressure on ourselves, but it's like a big party. It's like a big family. We all get together, we all bullshit, we all talk, we all talk BS towards each other. We all, whatever the case is, but it's just a cool event to go to. Nationals, a little bit different story. BK's just, backyard having fun, bonfires, getting hammered, doing whatever. Not saying really get hammered, but, having cocktails. As your dad would say it, it's just a cocktail. But it's just cool to see. You've taken that information now. You've ran some SoCal races this year, and you've done pretty damn well. I saw your dad race and stuff. Didn't do too bad. Didn't do as well as he should have.
He was a little ballerina out there, but it's okay. We're all still learning. We all have to have our rookie season.
Second.
Hey, when you only have 3 carts, it's good. It's a good second.
It's a PG stream, Dad. It's a PG stream.
Tyler, hold on. Let me get to some of these comments here. Tyler's great. She only gets faster. Watch out, everybody else. It's true. Brian Williams says, I got second at the BK in KR 100. See, I'm not the only one that can't spell. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Brian. KT. Thank you, Brian. Steve Sharpley. Let's get to some of these. Steve Leverage says, girls seem to have to work harder to compete in karting. My daughter has worked hard to earn the wins that she's got on the East Coast, traveling up and down the East Coast, racing with the best of the best, keeping digging girl hard. And that's the thing, too. Let's get to one more comment and stuff like that. It's going to be Brian. Brian says, Josh, remember the ladder the first night? Oh, my God. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's an IHOP story. We'll get into that, Brian. We got an hour to BS. We're good. It's oh my God, so many things. And it is true for girls in this sport. It is so much harder, is because I think the guys out there put way more pressure on you guys. One, they not saying they don't give you respect, but it's almost like you have to try 3 times harder to get that respect from a guy than you do, a guy to another guy, right?
Yeah.
Now,
it definitely is like that with the age and the being a female. As much as people love to say once you put on a helmet, you're just a driver, they never truly look at you as just a driver.
No, you're absolutely true because they know who's in that cart. They know a girl's in that cart. You know, and that's the thing. You know, and I'm kind of jumping back towards like Renee Angel because you know she's one of the biggest stuff around here. But she's just like you, and she don't give no shit. She'll give it right back. Yeah, you want to bump me? Cool, come on, I'll let you pass. Not a problem. Please believe in the next turn, whatever like that. I'm gonna let you know what that turn 4 wall looks like. I'm just gonna let you know. I'll let you know like a lap and a half. Say, hey, check this out. I'll slap the back of the head. Like, let's go forward. But as soon as you decide that you're gonna drive through me, gangster turns on.
Yeah.
And I've seen your gangster before, and it ain't pretty because then that hockey mentality comes out. You know,
Yeah.
I've literally seen you come out of a car at Tucson, and there was some choice non-Christian words. I'm just saying, and it was kind of like, excuse me, with
me.
explanations past that. But you literally got driven through.
Yeah,
because
it happens a lot at a bunch of different tracks. A bunch of different tracks, I'll have to hold my own, and I try to not let my dad get involved,
Brian,
because I believe that as the driver, if they're not going to take me seriously, I need to show them that I'm serious. So I have been in plenty of those altercations where there's a bit of yelling. No one's ever proud of after the fact, but sometimes you just have to defend yourself.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is that, and that's a part where I think maybe, you know, watching more of these young ladies and stuff get into the sport, or just in auto sports in general, met some really, really nice young ladies and stuff down in Madera, California here, you know, the last couple months, that have proven that they belong there. And that's a thing, you know, it's sad to say, but you also have to like prove that you should be there. Right. We all don't like to hear it, but that's kind of like the reality. But these young ladies and stuff that are driving the Junior 5150, running the Pro Late Model Series, the Lucker Daddy and stuff down in Madera, California, have proven very, very much, but that they belong. And here in the next, a couple of weeks or whatever like that, I'm gonna have one of those young ladies on the show and talking about her debut in the Junior 5150s and all that. But with that being said, with the wins of SoCal, with the accomplishments at Tucson, and with everything now going way to the East Coast here in a couple months, what are you looking at? What is your mindset like?
Definitely to just be like, I always want to win. That's like what everyone wants, is to win. But I also know that sometimes things don't go your way. So honestly, it's just about doing the best I can. At Grand Nationals, I just want to like have fun. Brian Nevins is coming with us. He's helping with the tow there. And I'm excited to have fun. We have some friends out in Pennsylvania and out on the East Coast that are hopefully going to come with us. And it's just racing. I always try to take it so seriously, but over the years, I've kind of learned that you only can work with so much. And especially like this past Grand Nationals, I was my car was just slower, and I just had to accept that fact. And I just had to keep driving and have fun.
Does having a chassis that doesn't work necessarily to your liking, does that hinder your spirits? Knowing that, back home, you're extremely fast. The last nationals and stuff, you're extremely fast. And coming into it, it's all, basically it's like brand new. Does that kind of take some of your spirits throughout the day and throughout the weekend? Does that bring it down, or how do you build from that?
The way that I thought about the last Grand Nationals was just the fact that I was so grateful that Matt Green was able to offer me a car and was able to actually bring me a car. So I feel like with that, I knew I shouldn't have gotten, I knew I shouldn't get my hopes up with that. So I just kept pushing and hoping that the day would get better. And it didn't, but I was on a racetrack at Grand Nationals. I didn't miss Grand Nationals, so I couldn't complain much.
Right. No, and that's your second Grand Nationals you've been to, correct?
Yes.
So this now will be your third in a row Grand National. 9-second laps for the UAS drivers. 9-second laps. They're doing 80 plus miles an hour on this little track. It is going to be. Sorry. Oh, bro. Yeah. So I talked to Mark Burtfield. Listen, I talked to Mark today because there were some questions and stuff about quarter points. So I went to the man himself, right? I'll get Mike Lane and stuff on here too. Don't worry, guys at home. I'll get Mike Lane on here and we'll talk about UAS. But I didn't need to hear that. No. That's 8 miles an hour. I'm sorry, Mom. It's 8 miles an hour. It's great. It's 90-second laps. It's good to go.
Yeah.
Bro, go in and turn her phone off real quick. Oh, that's a UAS, guys. Now, KTs and all that type, my understanding, it's 10, 11-second laps, but it's still up there in speed. So make sure you bring your collar for G-forces. It's fast.
So when Tyler does an 8-second lap, that'll be a good thing.
If she does 8-second lap, she's I'm telling, it's gonna be on fire. It's gonna be on fire. She says, okay, much better. And so we were talking about quarter points and everything else. You've already got your quarter points. You're good to go. Talking when we had Ben Taft on last week, we were talking about quarter points. East Coast right now has had a lot of issue with rain. We hate that R word. We hate, even knowing about it. Us, SoCal, all that. We haven't had any sort of deal. Didn't put it past them. They'll be all right. Oh, hold on. There we go. Don't put it past them. They'll be all right. That's right. Right? Y'all follow the leader. You just push each other. Get faster and faster. You know how that G-force works? It's all good. But I just lost train of thought what I was talking about.
You're talking about quarter points.
Yes, quarter points. Okay. So I talked to Mark and I asked him, I said, what does the rule state as a sense of if you don't get quarter points in this year, what happens to go to the Nationals? He states is that back in the East Coast, they have multiple regions and stuff that they can go to. Here in the West Coast, it's kind of hard because we, are at our local track, or if you have to really, really travel to get quarter points. If you have done a quarter points race last year and or did a Grand National last year, you are eligible without a quarter points race this year to be able to go for this year's Grand National. That makes sense? Took me 2 seconds too. So last year,
Nationals, but you can't win the points title.
Correct. Correct. You have to be a member also of the UAS, but you cannot win the overall title. You can win the Grand National, right? You can win the race, but you can't win the overall title. There's 5 points for your regional. There's there's points all the way across.
Yeah.
And that's where I didn't know. I was getting messages and I'm like, call Mike Lane. No idea. I'm just a guy. This is just in charge of this. Yeah, this is just a face for radio. It's too bad we're podcasting it, but this is just a face for radio. So we talked about quarter points, whatever like that. So if you guys were worried about if over there on the East Coast, if you raced, and I'm sure you guys already know about it because you guys got to follow the rule book. So if you haven't read the rule book, I haven't read the rule book because I don't race. I just tape you guys. It's good commentary, but you have the ability if you ran a quarter points race last year, and or you ran the Grand Nationals last year, you're locked in to be able to run the Grand Nationals this year. It's a 2-year deal. Yes, and to run, for points and all, you have to be a UAS member. So with that being said, they're struggling and stuff back there in, on the East Coast. Talking about traveling somewhere, you're heading back to Iowa with Brian Nevins Jr., talking about him, to run something. What are you going to run back there?
I'm personally not running anything. Me and my dad are going out there to help him win a big money race in KT 100. And then hopefully on Sunday heading to a different track to help his kid win. What?
Does he run champ cars?
He runs champ cars. And then Brian's running clone.
Oh, okay.
Grafton, Brian Evans' son, is running the cage cart. And then Brian will be running clone on Sunday, as long as it doesn't get rained out.
Stop it. I've told, listen this. No, this is the deal. So check this out. My very first 2 guests on here were from Pennsylvania. They had an 80% chance of raining. I told them, I said, because you're on the podcast, dude, it's not going to rain. Didn't rain. Okay. Ben Taft was on last week. His race was supposed to rain. Didn't rain. Right. So Brian, just saying, bro. All it takes is money. I'll call Mother Nature. I got a direct line. I'm just saying. I'll send some of our sunshine your way. It's 96 degrees here. I don't even want to know how hot it is in SoCal. But
it's
damn,
not that bad. I think we
really.
64, 65 degrees right now. It's beautiful.
Bro, it is. I'll tell you right now how hot it is.
Got up to 75 today. Okay. It wasn't that hot at all.
Right now, it's 91 at 8:05 Pacific Standard Time. 91 degrees right now.
Move to SoCal.
We're at 65.
You're burnt out. I'm not moving to SoCal. It's hot. You guys know. Oh, I'm sorry. It just updated 88 degrees. It was 90. It was 96 or something like that today. The kids are out in the pool right now. It's insane. At 8:00 at night, the kids are out in the pool still. It's like it's like a hot tub. Went out there, put my hand in it. I'm like, and I'm like, I got to do the podcast. Gearing up for the Nationals. Okay, you're going to go back. You're going to learn a bunch of stuff, and I'm sure you've learned a ton of stuff from Brian Evans. I've learned a ton of stuff from Brian Evans, and I don't even race. He's helped out quite a bit when it came to talking about my son's racing career, both of mine, with Chase and Aiden with the cage carts type stuff or whatever, and back and forth. What do you take now, knowing this is going to be your last year in the junior UAS? Are you going to start looking at how senior UAS and stuff does their programs?
My dad used to race in like the senior UAS stuff, so we already kind of have an idea on what I want to race. But I also do have other opportunities with. I have test driven a sprint car once this summer.
Yes, you have.
And I'm hoping to move up to that, but I'm still planning on racing hopefully the 2024 Grand Nationals as well. If I'm in a sprint car as well. So
speaking of a sprint car, because that was my next topic and stuff on here. We had to destroy someone because once again, you're a young lady and you're getting into a sport that's dominated by idiots. The male ego is pretty much what I'm getting at. And this male ego saw that you went out there and did some, wasn't the fastest, wasn't the slowest, but you had some pretty damn good laps in a sprint car you've never driven before.
Yeah.
And this guy made a comment on a post and said, "Oh, well, there we go, another girl in the sport, going to be wrecking a wall or going to wreck someone." And we had to help them understand that that's not the case, right?
Yeah, I appreciated that when I saw it.
Well, I had a little bit of influence. I'm not going to say who, but it was to the point of don't say something about somebody because the raw talent young lady that you have in this sport of auto racing, regardless across the board, is phenomenal. You've got a great head on your shoulders. Your educational level and stuff your academics alone, your hockey, just everything about you is great. You take a lot of that I've seen and adapted it into whatever sport or activity and stuff you've been into. Tell us about the sprint car though.
It definitely was a lot different from driving a go-kart. Yeah, even like the pedals are way different. I'm used to laying down in my go-kart. I'm sitting fully up.
It's all up and down, up and down. Yep.
Yeah. And like the pedals were all weird. It took me a few laps to get used to it. I only spun once, which was nice. The other people I was racing with, there was another kid. He almost hit a wall. Like I felt like I was doing I was like best of the worst in that moment. Like
having the guy that's sitting next to you that keeps on coming in camera left. What were your thoughts and stuff as a dad, watching this young lady mature in this sport that we call go-karts? I mean, what were you thinking and stuff watching her out there? I mean, we all know about the nerves and stuff out there for karting, but now she's in a full-blown 360 sprinter. What was your thoughts?
I hadn't had a problem until the first time she ran Hills Ferry. Now, I'd run Hills Ferry in my open, which is a fast track. And I was like, oh, I'm all cool with this. She'll be fine. She was kind of nervous. Fired her up, and me and Tim Erickson walk up to the fence. She comes by me following Chris Mello into the corner, full tilt sideways, doing like 70 miles an hour. And mildly, I about crapped myself and almost threw up. So, okay, fine. So Tyler and I have been going. Tyler's been going to USAC races with me since she was like 3.
Right.
She watched Brody Roa start, moving up through there. We're big fans of him, and we've been to all the races. And I was fine with it. You know, when we found out she was going to get the ride, we got her all the safety gear, made sure she was safe, and then she gets in the car. She goes to bump it off, and I'm hanging out with Coach, the guy that runs the track, and he goes, "She's going to do fine." She bumps it off, starts going down the straightaway, and Dad almost crapped his pants again.
My mom was perfectly calm.
Tyler's fine. You know, she did everything. So they had very specific rules they wanted her to follow. It was more. It wasn't about going fast. It was about
Educate yourself.
Maintain it, learn it, and then throttle control.
Right.
But she crossed. The guy that owns the car said, you know, she did it absolutely perfect. The guys that run the track said she did everything she was supposed to do. Dad still had issues. It's the hardest thing for me because in go-karts, I can look at a go-kart and say, this is what you can expect. So like if she jumped in a 252 stroke next week, I can tell her what to expect. I've never been in a sprint car before. I don't know what it feels like to drive one. I don't know how to throw it into a corner. I don't know anything about them. So I was just fan dad.
I'm supposed to ask you about how you handled the BK main. Well, I was there. I filmed it. But in your own words, how did you handle the BK main?
Actually, the BK main wasn't the bad one. The bad one was when she won the classic in the rain that year. You were there?
Yep.
She was leading. Dad was pacing, throwing signals. So then Brian Nevin Sr. goes, Scott, stop. Leave her alone. Let her race.
Did he have to take you back to the trailer?
Well, he told me to walk away. Well, then Tyler comes down the straightaway and Dad's gone. So Tyler misses the corner because she's trying to figure out what's wrong. Dad's gone.
The same thing happened at BK because him and Brian were standing in turn 3, like right next to the guardrail. Brian's signaling to me. My dad's just standing there, and then I see my dad pacing, and then I see Brian start to kind of be on edge, and then my dad disappears, and then all of a sudden Brian disappears, and I find out later they're like ducking under the guardrail because they were nervous for me. I was so stressed.
She was wheeling the junior UAS car, and it was just, we were nervous. She was throwing down some laps, and it was good.
So are we going to have to keep you on a leash when we take you to PA?
Yeah, he's going to need a leash.
I'm going to sit in the booth with you.
Come on up because you're going to be far, far away from her. Yeah, you'll have the full screen of everything. So it's good to go. It's awesome to be able to see you, young lady, to accomplish the things and stuff you have. It's not only awesome to have you guys as family. I mean, literally been there for me, for our production. Sorry. Oh, that must be on your end. I hear music.
Yeah, car across the street
neighbors.
just started.
I'm like, hold on, wait. I'm like, dude, I told everybody to turn everything down. It's awesome to be able to, to be able to talk to you and to watch you grow, especially as a young lady in this sport. It's just amazing. To have a dad like you have. And the truth in this, and this is kind of where we're getting off topic a little bit, GKK and IHOP. Apparently, PA does not have an IHOP. I know they might, but we're
somewhere.
Do we want to recap IHOP?
I made a 3-year-old friend when we walked in named Vladimir. And
we were the only 2 groups in there. At 11 o'clock at night. Now, to set up, no, because I don't want to be embarrassed again. The night before practice, we went to IHOP at 11:30, and they said, you guys can't come in. We're like, you're open. Like, we're open for another half hour or so, and it's only takeout only. We're like, screw that. So we went over to Red Robin across the street. Had a good time, all that kind of good stuff. And we're like, dude, if we're out, we're going to IHOP, right? just to piss them off. We're gonna go to IHOP. We're gonna close this thing down. We get done 9:30, 10 o'clock, and we're like, IHOP, IHOP. So we go. Only another couple, a guy and a girl, and the kid we thought was a girl, but turned out to be a boy. No offense on nothing. Cool kid, all the type of stuff. attached himself to you. It was like a growth on you. Do we want to go? Do you want to go from there, Scotty?
Are you sure? You want to cross this bridge?
I'm not really sure. I mean, so we met a very nice lady,
a very nice Southern girl that you were smitten with, and she was kind of smitten with you.
I was being very respectful,
but there was interest both directions, and then
there was someone right here getting in the way of it all.
then you mouthed off to Tyler, and Tyler said, "Say that again, I'll end it for you." And you talked back again, and the next time the waitress came over, Tyler blocked you.
Yeah, it was
epically like.
It was a
you, we got another friend out of it.
It was a hammer throw. It definitely was a hammer throw.
And you'll never do that again at IHOP, will you?
No.
We went back, and she was there again the next morning with her.
Yeah, the next morning. Remember we went back for breakfast?
Right.
Yes.
But she still liked Tyler more than you.
Yeah, she still liked me more than you.
Hey,
gave me a hug after, not you.
And still got the hug and still got the picture. You suck.
True, yeah.
You suck.
You gotta teach it. Don't mouth off.
Well, I tried to get my, at that time, our production manager to say something, but, that was just kind of like, bruh, I gotta go to bed, bruh. It's like, bro, sidekick, bro.
Sleep.
There was no sleeping in Georgia. Oh my Lord, there was no sleeping in Georgia. That was one hell of a trip. Not only to go down there, and it was cool. Matt Green and everybody else that put us down there, and the whole, Carolina UAS and all that type of stuff. But for us, our little circle, there was no sleep in GKK at all. And then the trip back to the airport, the drive back down there, I don't think we got under 100 until we stopped for fuel.
You barely kept up. You barely.
Dude, that little production that thing was. Yeah. Well, we had
9,000 pounds of gear there.
Bro, that thing was packed. We had things all the way to the top of the roof, and yeah, that was awesome. And then when we pulled into the gangster neighborhood of Fuel Station, I thought we were all gonna die.
Yeah, that was.
They have bulletproof windows.
In Georgia.
Then I had to go to the back. I'm like, I walked out. I'm like, bro, they got guns in here. I'm like, no. I'm like, yeah, they do. Like, we gotta go. Yeah, that was. I don't know what exit we took, but it was the wrong place for us.
And then at the airport, we sat at the tram place for like 20 minutes waiting for you guys.
Right? Well, we had all this gear.
Trams go by. Almost missed our flight for you.
we had two of the big carts. We had all of our gear. It was just me and Bishop, and we're like running.
I'm surprised you guys were able to carry all that stuff through the airport.
Dude, it's a challenge sometimes. People think that this is easy. And when we put our whole production in all those, I mean, it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 8, 10 boxes, right? Oh, yeah. The whole production crew, the whole thing in all that. And they're like, how do you do that? I'm like, dude, it's flight cases. It takes a team to be able to do this. It's crazy. And then we separated at the wall of shame, and you go that way and I'll go this way. And I'm like, why are you guys on the other side of the airport when we're basically going the same damn place? Like, I don't know. So much fun, guys. GKK. UAS Grand Nationals on your screen. Road to the UAS Grand Nationals, August 19, 2023, right there on Dirt 360 TV pay-per-view page. You will have more details on cost, what times, all that type of stuff. Ron Pritt, that is out there. He is the man, the guru himself that is running the UAS Grand Nationals at Hunterstown. And, of course, the UAS Grand Nationals, September. Man, I mean, it's literally right. It's within days. The tension is already, I can feel it. September 16th, right here, 2023, right here on Dirt 360 TV pay-per-view page. So where you're watching this, we'll have all the details. Of course, it'll be pinned up on the top for dates, times, all that kind of good stuff. Are you guys, before I leave you, are you guys going to stay an extra day, Sunday or Monday? Because I think we're staying all the way till Monday to do some sightseeing and stuff.
I don't know.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are. We have to go to Gettysburg. We have to do that.
So
Listen.
the thing is I'm driving to Nevin's house, and we're
Okay.
taking Nevin's
Bye.
rig out there.
Right.
He's the
Bye, boo boo.
I'm just a redneck California guy. Like, if he has to use my equipment, he gets all like mad at me for not having all the good stuff, and so like
He's a perfectionist, bro. You cannot. You can't listen.
I've been doing this a long time, but he is an educator, and like even like this last weekend, I did something, and when I tell him, you know, I did this thing with tires, and this happened, and he goes, "Yeah, I told you that 6 months ago." And I'm like, "Oh, thanks." So he's actually driving. We're going from his house out, and then we got to go back to his house, and I got to drive home.
He says, "Your mom says you got school, young lady," and Brian says, "LOL, you got all my carts."
Well, that's a funny story with Brian. When I got back and wanted a new Legend, I talked to Joel, and Joel goes, "Well, I got a used car for you. I'm going to ship one from my factory guy." So he sold Brian's favorite car to us. So then,
is that the same one that he took to the Holiday Classic?
it's just our clear car, the car that he drives at the Classic, and the car that he drives at Buddha is the first car I bought from him. Then I wanted another one. I needed two more. I wanted one for me, and I wanted another one for Tyler. So all Joel had was one more used one from Brian, which was his purple one, which is his second love.
That's my love.
So I get that and a brand new car. So we already have the car at the house. I get the pallet. We get the two new cars, and we open up the first one, and it's the black car. And Tyler goes, "Well, that's my car." I go, "Okay, good. I'll take the clear one." She goes, "No, that one's mine too." You can have those two. I get the next one we open up. We open up the next one. It's the purple car. She goes, "That one's mine." "Okay, I'll take the black car." She goes, "No, you can go buy yourself another car."
Oh,
They're all mine.
They're all mine. I'm like, oh, that's how it's gonna go. But yeah, so we keep buying Brian's old cars. Every time Brian gets a new car, he either sells it to somebody in Arizona or I end up buying it. So
well, Brian sold his one to Travis. Yeah, the year that we were down there. Yeah, after he dominated in that damn thing.
This last year, he sold that car to Barry.
Oh, really?
That deal, Barry's car that he ran,
right?
I picked up from a guy, brought it out in the back of a truck. I picked it up at a truck stop in Fontana.
We
took it to my house, and we had planned this for a week.
Right.
Tony bought all the parts he could for it, had them shipped to my house. I built the car at my house. We showed up the morning of practice. Beard showed up at my hotel with the wedge. Tony brought the engine. We delivered the car to the track. He put the car together at the track.
Oh my
ends
gosh!
up in the top 10 with it in the A main.
Hey, you can't beat that.
And Brian was out of a car again. When Tyler sees the car he has, she might steal it and take it home on the plane.
Yeah, I've seen stranger things on a plane. So walking down the aisle or like that with a cart chassis.
Yeah,
Just saying, it's all sideways and everything walking down. Excuse me. Why did you have to buy it? Why'd you have to buy an extra seat? Because that's sitting here. It's getting a window.
It's getting the window, Mom.
Brian says not gonna happen.
We'll see.
Hey, yeah, Brian, don't say never, bro. Because you know this family. I know you know this family. you might lose your stuff this weekend. You ain't careful. Don't turn your back and have to go prep tires, bro. Like where'd my cart go? She's already taking shit apart. The seat's already gone. Top on top of the trailer. Hey, Brian's like,
she's got it tucked under her shirt.
Like
under your jacket.
Like where did that seat come from? I didn't bring that one. And Brian says, "Yes, anyway, I can't sell it yet." Hey, I'm not saying you're gonna sell it. I'm just saying you ain't gonna have it. Yeah. There's a 5-finger discount somewhere or whatever in Iowa. Aren't there like grassroots? Oh, Brian, dude, you got to come to IHOP with us, bro.
Yeah.
No. No.
Olive Garden.
No.
No, you have to come to Olive Garden with us.
No.
Oh, yes. Remember
Yes.
Olive Garden? Yes. Oh, Olive Garden's another one we don't talk about.
Maybe the
No-
three of us will go to Olive Garden without you.
Mum's the word. Mum's the word. Guys, it is we could do this all night long. It is absolutely a pleasure. I absolutely love you guys. You guys are amazing. I can't thank you enough for being, a huge supporter, a huge part of the 360 and of course the RPM Sports Network, racing family themselves. Tyler Rose Bohle, the SoCal Bulldog herself. It is amazing. I mean, you guys are. We got one more comment. Let's see, one more comment. Let's see.
maybe
Brian says, "I can't. My stomach hurts after." Listen, just eat the soup. You'll be fine. You'll be good.
So maybe next year, if you love us so much.
You totally ignored us at BK. We were all freezing, putting away go-karts, and you
No.
in your little motor home that was all lit, just scrolling on Facebook while we were all freezing. And
I told.
come out and say hi for 10 minutes, hand us some stickers, and then go to bed in your little motor home that's heated while we're outside for another 3 hours cleaning.
And this is the reason why she's the Bulldog.
Don't smoke the bear.
No, listen. I told your dad in the trailer, right, when we went over there, right? We were talking about what were we talking about? No, we're talking about the motor, what's his name had or whatever. And I'm like, hey, you guys go over to the motorhome or whatever like that, watch TV and eat and all that type of stuff. And you're like, okay.
Yeah, but you didn't tell us what the motorhome was.
Yeah, we didn't know where the motorhome was.
It's the only big white diesel push that was over there by the production studio.
That's a good point.
Behind a building.
Well, yeah, you had to walk outside.
God, BK.
Dude, BK is...
And she's only been once.
I know. Listen, yeah, that's a whole different episode. You guys are awesome. I can't thank you guys enough. Pennsylvania is going to be a kick. I cannot wait till the Grand Nationals. It's what's in store, who knows, but we are definitely not broadcasting it. It's definitely not PG.
We're live from Denny's.
Live from Denny's. Could you imagine the lady comes out, no teeth and apron? I got your Grand Slam.
Guys, this is not a PG stream. We're at IHOP.
Who ordered the French toast?
Oh my God.
Oh no. Brian says, Josh, you're awesome, but better be Oh, dude. Oh my God. Yeah, and this is without drinking.
He doesn't even drink, and he's on another level.
He's so awesome. Listen,
on another level.
the trifecta of us together. Oh baby Jesus, watch out.
Oh, dude. Chris Vieira out there. He stays silent and then he comes alive. He will change the dynamic.
He also needs to be a race car driver after BK.
Whoa.
Chris Vieira, and Matt Jones.
Oh no!
From
No!
all flew in on the same flight. Our flight was 2.5 hours delayed at John Wayne.
Right.
We sat in the airport for 2.5 hours giggling, and then get all of our stuff, and we're in the rental car, and Matt Jones is driving
from PDX.
Did not run. Yeah. He did not drive under about 50 miles an hour that entire time. We were driving very fast. And then Chris.
Don't say that. Your mom's gonna listen. Your mom's
she already knows the story.
What are you all teaching my daughter? I didn't do nothing. It's the guy next to her.
No. Then Chris Vieira starts driving, and we're trying to get into BK and to park by the trailer. Couldn't figure out how to get in. We drove through mud.
That's right. Yeah, you drove through the grass.
We were doing donuts around a tree because we got bored and lost. Right in front of Renee Angel's trailer.
Oh, that's so awesome. I remember that.
We drove in.
Shoe.
We drove in
Just quiet about
a
it.
back entrance that we were not welcome to drive through.
That was on the way back. That was awesome. We're teaching your daughter good habits and Christian values.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
I mean,
God.
nothing weirder happens in Buddha. You've been going to Buddha since probably Oakwood, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Couple years.
I've heard stories about Oakwood.
Oh dear Lord. Oakwood, the old arena with the fiberglass and the roof falling in, and yeah, that's good times. Well, see, so Jeff used to, kind of side note before we go, Jeff used to date my daughter Corey for a couple of years, and then she decided that she was going to leave Jeff, right, and then date another Jeff named Jeff Benson, and then marry him and have kids, and then yeah, that's a total different story. But yeah, she's amazing. With that being said, you guys stick right there. Tyler, Scotty, don't go nowhere. Everybody at home, thank you guys so very much for being such an awesome part of Dirt 360's deal. Can't thank you guys enough for being such a part of it. Again, we dedicate this show tonight to a very, 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 very important person in our life. That's Mark Rowe, uncle, family. It's hard, but having you guys on tonight has definitely helped. We'll sit back and kind of relax after this a little bit, but it's fun, because like I said, if I didn't do this show tonight, he would probably haunt my ass for a while and see and
you would open up cabinets in your kitchen and pots are flying out at you.
Right. He would make sure that this is what he loved. He loved watching us. He loved, everything that's part of it. He wanted to be part of the show so bad, and he wanted to just be a part of the whole aspect of it. He always talked about, winning the lottery and driving off and having this big race team and doing all that. He was such an amazing, amazing person, and I'm glad that I got to see him today, literally an hour before showtime. And I got a call from his sister and said that he passed. But at least got to see him, got to make him laugh. It was cool. But yeah, it's awesome. Brian Nevin says one more thing before we let you go. He says Josh will be racing for him, Bud, this weekend. Thank you, Brian. Thank you. It means a lot. With that being said, you guys stick around. Don't go nowhere. With that, we'll end the show. But thank you guys. Thank you so much for being such a great support to us, Dirt 360 TV. Going to the Grand Nationals. It's almost here. It's almost here. There you go. All right, guys. We'll be right back with you. Talk to you. Thank you so very much for watching. Now I got to figure out where the ending credits are. Oh, my gosh. Okay, here we go. Thank you guys so much.
Super professional.